हाय एवरीवन, गुड इवनिंग। कैसे हैं आप सब? ओके, लेट्स वेट फ्यू मिनट्स सो दैट एवरीबॉडी कैन जॉइन. Hi guys, hello. Just tell your friends to join this workshop. We'll be starting soon. Till then, let's have some chit chat. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay, let's just start with the workshop. So, hi everyone. I am Mishika Khandelwal from Geeks for Geeks and your host for today. So, today we are back with day two of our workshop of Hackathon series. Geeks for Geeks, in collaboration with Google Cloud and AMD, is proud to present Solving for India, a Pan-India Hackathon. Don't miss this exciting opportunity to showcase your skills and work on innovative projects that can be a real difference. So today with us we have Sarsij Roy, who is software developer at Pristine Care, and today's topic of discussion is accelerating fitness and sports tech development with GCP. So without wasting any time, let's start with this workshop and let's welcome Sarsij Roy. Hi Sarsij, how are you?
Hi, hi everyone. Hi, good evening. Hi, Mishita.
Hi.
So, good
So
evening to all and everyone present. Welcome to this video and the workshop that we are going to take forward from now on. So, let me introduce myself. My name is Sharoshij Roy. I am from Kolkata. I have been working as a full stack developer. Mostly, I cover backend stuff, but currently, I am a full stack developer in Pristine Care. Today, I will be guiding and providing an insight to the role of technology in fitness and sports, how technology is being used, and what we can learn and even plan to build in this domain. So, welcome everyone. Like one second. So, I do want to share the screen. Just a moment. Yeah. So, I'll be starting with the agenda that we have today. So, we will be trying to understand the various themes and application that we can build around the topic of fitness and sports. Also, like it's not only about building, we have to use different technologies nowadays. Only a crude application is not enough. So the usage of Google Cloud platform to make life easier by using different tools like compute engine, Kubernetes, BigQueries, machine learning, and many more. And we'll be also understanding the data flow, like how data are getting collected, like what kind of data are getting collected, how do we store them, where do we store them, and what is the best way to store them in order to use the data. Once again, the collection of data is not everything in today's world. We also need to use those data and use them in an optimized way, like the speed and everything. Those are also important for us. So that is why understanding the data flow is also very important. uh, we'll be taking up some of the examples. So we'll be taking up some examples of apps that we can build so that it becomes easier for us. So let's understand what we mean by fitness. Like when we are saying fitness, especially in a technological environment, what we are talking, like what we are saying about fitness. So it is one of the largest and the latest fitness trends that has come up is like the fitness technologies, which are like guided by equipments. I We all know that we are wearing smartwatches and etc. But that is not only the like that is not the boundary. Equipment with augmented and virtual reality, artificial intelligence. You are playing tennis in a small room. There is no tennis court. You're just wearing a virtual device, and that is also like contributing to the fitness. So this kind of technology has already come. So I'm talking about that, like this fitness with technology has gone to a certain extent, especially after the pandemic. This pandemic had a significant impact on all industry, obviously, but this fitness, like people are aware, like more aware of the fact that I have to be fit. I have to be fit, and as a result, they are using technologies, devices in their daily life to change their life, their habits, so that the fitness level they can maintain that fitness level. We'll discuss some of the fitness technology in the next few slides. So let's go over there. Home gym equipment. So yeah, basically on 2015 and 16, this home gym equipments were like a luxury. Like we never thought of having this kind of equipments in our home. But after the pandemic situation, we are having different kind of gym equipments in our home, and like, and these are tech oriented, not only crude machines. These are tech oriented, collecting our data, giving us the calorie burns, the heart rates, etc. So again, technology is involved in this kind of things. This is the hottest trend now in the market now, smartwatches. Smartwatches like has taken the modern market by storm. And the main important thing again, like we say smartwatch, we are using the word watch, but the thing is like it is not only showing you the time. If it was only time, people would have stuck with the previous watches they were having. But this is coming with heart rate, lung functioning, step, calories, sleep cycle. Even they are collecting data, connecting with the app, and they are predicting the sleep cycle. They are even like telling you need to stand up, you need to now just move around a bit, you have been sitting for a long time. They are saying that you had a less amount of sleep last night. So these kind of functionalities and features in smartwatch has made it one of the most demanded devices in the modern way. So this also comes under fitness technology. And wellness and fitness app, by this I means you will be seeing lots of advertisement even in instas and facebook. If you guys just scroll, and you will see that there are lots of apps coming up which is saying that if you want to lose your weight, follow these exercises, download this app. If you want to do this, if you want to do that, follow this app. So this kind of, this is what I mean by wellness fitness apps. So these were popular, like these were popular for like people who were worried about their bodies, who were maintaining their bodies fitness and etc. So the app was popular among them. But again, after the pandemic, things have changed, and people are more aware of the fact that I have to be fit, and so they are downloading this kind of app, trying to maintain their body weight, trying to maintain their fitness, going through this app. And here comes the technology part, that we can very easily build these kinds of app using many tools and services. First of all, we do need to do a bit of coding, obviously that is a part of our technology. But then again, GCP, Google Cloud Platform, these kind of services that we have in Google Cloud Platform makes very easy for us to build this kind of app. We'll go more into that later. So what can we build, right? Like I am just saying, but this is also important, that what can we build. We can definitely build. Suppose let's take this example. We can build a fitness and wellness application, preferably a mobile application, as because I said no one is carrying the system with them. So in their pocket, it's always the mobile application. So we start with the very basics of that. Like when we launch the installation, generally, if do hope that everyone has gone through like this kind of application in certain point of time. But when you launch the application, it is collecting some of the major data, like data's connecting with like data's related to your anatomy, like the height, weight, what is your gender, then your habits. And the last thing that they want to know, like why are you going to use this app. Either it is to reduce your weight, or you want to gain your strength, or what is the reason, like what is the target that you're setting. So you collect all this data. We are collecting these data. We are also collecting the data which is setting us the target, and then the app is generating a plan, an exercise plan, a diet plan, that the user needs to follow on a daily basis to achieve the target that the user himself or herself has set. So this kind of app, this kind of can we can make them easily, like sitting at our home with us, with the minimum knowledge, we can start building this kind of app. So after this workshop, I hope that you will have enough knowledge and motivation to start building this kind of app. Also, there is a constant monitoring part also that I included in this part, because it's not only about giving them the chart. Now it is about making sure that they follow the chart, right? So you said that Monday they need to go these much steps. So after Monday, like at the end of the day, you do need to ask the user that whether you have gone the steps or not. Then there has to be a checkbox where they are constantly collecting the data that yeah they are satisfying what needs to be done. Otherwise, this plan is not going to work. So letting the user know. So these kind of things we can build through an app. And this is the basic, as I said, and we are all thinking these kind of apps are already existing, I know, but we need to start from some point. So the next step, going to the next step, is connection with a wearable device or a gym equipment. As I was saying, that there are smartwatches and everything that we already have, so we can connect. And then the collection of data now, basically when I said during the launch of the app you are collecting data, this is something the user is typing. This is not the end result that you want to have in 2020, especially through apps. So they are typing, they are giving you data, you are collecting the data. That is fine. This is the basic steps from where you want to begin. But on the next step, what do you do in the next step? That is where you come connection with a wearable device or a gym equipment. The device itself is going to collect the data. Like what was your heart rate today at 9 o'clock, and then what is your heart rate at around 3 p.m. It is going to collect the data and it is going to give you the data. Now you store the data, make your data utilization, and give the results and conclusions and predictions. So that can be the next step, like the connection, then the data collection from the wearables regarding sleep, steps, heart rate, and there are lots of things that we can do in the next steps. Sports. So in 2023, I don't know how many of you are sports follower and staunch. Like not only I'm talking about a particular sports, any kind of sports. Standing on 2023, there is not one sports which is not governed by technology. It is not, absolutely not possible, because sports, if you are talking about cricket and football, these kind of things has a very global great audience. But even smaller sports, they are not possible. We cannot dream of a sports watching in our television that does not have technology behind it. So sports and technology is going hand in hand for a long time, and today's advancement of technology has taken sports to a new level. It has been changing, it has been evolving, but in 2023, and I hope in 2000, in 30s or in the coming years, it will be more advanced and there will be more new things. And technology has gone to such an extent in today's world that we don't even consider broadcasting to be also a part of technology, which it is. Like broadcasting is also a sophisticated technology that, as I have mentioned, that was used as early as 1939, but that is also a technology. So how far we have come for technology in sports, that in our brain broadcasting is not at all a technology that is very important for us. Few examples I have just listed, but this is not 10%, not at all. I can say not even 5% or 10%, because there are so many technologies that are there in athletics, tracking, race, and these are very old actually. Tracking the race time that came in 80s, so lighter clothes and shoes, these are ongoing. Like we are always seeing Adidas is coming up with the shoes that is these, but its weight is very less. And I just want to talk about this one Hello Head. When this had, like, I had my eyes on this, so this is actually something very fascinating. Sports, especially for an athlete, if he or she is wearing this band, there will be nerve impulse that will be helping the athlete to focus on the race or the training. So this is the level of technology that we are using in sports nowadays. If you are a football fan, then you obviously have the idea of goal line technology and video technology. So these are the technologies that we are always, it is associated with sports. But what we are going to do, or what we are going to discuss in the next few moments, is like I will be talking about a football coach assistant application that we can make. And I thought of this in a very different way, because score update, fantasy leagues, these kind of apps are all available. Like these are available and we can easily build this. Not easily, we can build this. The thing is, like, the are going through the database architecture and making this kind of app is available and it can be done. But a football coach assistant application, the reason I chose this, because the moment I say assistant, there we think about a person, like a person who is going to be assisting. I am a coach, I'm a coach of a football team, and I didn't need an assistant. So there has to be some prediction. And the reason I added this one is like I will be at the very later stage showing you some of the AI things that we can do using this app and Google Cloud platform. This is what I was talking about. Like the first part is very common, like your team, how your team is performing on a training level, on a match day level. Because being a football coach is not only about getting result. You have to have monitor about how your players, how they are reacting on not only the match days but also on a daily basis on your training. So these kind of performance matrices needs to be measured and stored using those data. Like those data's graphs, this will be helping the coach to decide like what needs to be done for the player, what needs to be done on a certain area of the pitch, etc. And on also on a team level and an individual level, like as I said, the training of certain X player can also be calculated, the training level of the whole team on the training day and on a match day. So this kind of many permutation and combinations can be applied for the team performance, and this kind of metrics is performance graph. Another thing that I thought is the training plan. So we are collecting the data, right? The first 2 points is about collecting data and giving us the result, showing us the result through graphs. And depending on the result, suppose my team is very good in running, it can run 90 minutes, okay, but it lacks strength. How we are concluding that? We are concluding that my team is very good in running, but it lacks strength. So this kind of uh, am I audible, uh, Mishita?
Hello?
Yeah, am I audible? Like I just had an
Yes.
issue in internet. Okay, okay,
No,
thank
no,
you.
no, no. You're audible now. You can
Okay,
continue.
okay, okay, okay. So as I was saying that the first 2 point was about collection of data, right? So the data was collected and the training plan, and from the data I can see that my team is performing very well on the point of running. Like they are good in running, like they are covering a lots of kilometers to the 90 minutes, but they lack in strength. So depending on the result of the first 2 points, I am trying to build a training plan that is going to help my players more on building of strength. So that will be the training process. So this kind of app is not like is not so much common as the fantasy leagues and this kind of thing. So that is why I thought of focusing on this one. And then the ML driven assistant, that is the machine learning driven assistant that I was going to talk about. So that I will come to the later, like at the very end I will be going into that. That will be about predicting. I will give you a small example at that time and I will show you how we can use this for predictions. And this is very common, as I have also mentioned, like some of the apps like SofaScore, ClickBuzz, these kind of apps that are available currently, giving us all the time updates of different leagues, different sports. There are sorry, so there are also some apps like Greek Heroes, which are a sports management app. Suppose you are going with your team, your local team, and you want to play a game of football or a cricket match, you can update your scores, you can have a record of scores. This kind of apps are also there. Like if you go through app stores or play store, you will see Greek Heroes is a very popular app for that. And fantasy league application, we are constantly like Dream 11, etc., etc. So there are many like that in. So in the sports section also, you can go and make an app like this. There are different business model for also, like the score update application, fantasy league application. These can have different business models through which you can think about going live with your products and etc. So this, why I am saying this is that in the sports part also you can very easily create some applications using these kind of ideas. Okay, so this was basically just giving you guys a like a concept, an aspect of what we can do, what fitness is, what sports is, how they are connected with technology, what we can actually build. Like when you say the main problem that we face is like, okay, sports, I think I can build, I have to build something that is not available in the market, something new. No, we don't do that. We start from very basic. That's why I came up with this kind of app, this kind of discussion, because this is where we start, this is where from where we basically go forward. And then when we reach certain point, At that point we start to think about going something new. So this is why we go step by step. So now suppose you have a very small application, and let us come back to fitness web application. Now what you have done, you have followed your guide, you have followed your mentor, you have coded, you chose any of the languages, whether it is Java, whether it's React, whether it's Angular. You have done your coding, you have had a database, you have installed everything in your system, in your laptop, in your MacBook, and you have coded for 1 month, and there is a small or a medium large scale project. Now you are using that and it is working fine. What about it? Now you want to show that to your friends. You are obviously, this is not a feasible solution that you carry your laptop to your friend's house every time he or she wants to use that. That is never a solution, right? So what we do, how do we make things global? How do we suppose, if you guys have any idea about like coding or doing projects in your local system, you will be acquainted with the term localhost. So how do we change localhost to something called www.xyz.com that is available throughout the world, like everyone, basically that is available to www, that is the web. So you have a project, you need to go live with this. This is the term we use, go live, so people can use this. This is where it is time that we understand what Google Cloud and Google Cloud platform is. This is where we will have all these answer to the above questions. Google Cloud. In 2023, I don't think anyone of us does, like there is not many people who does not know what cloud is. So Google Cloud, same as we know about cloud, it's a set of physical assets. Those are there in the data centers, virtual resources, virtual machines that are distributed throughout Google's data center throughout the globe, like around the globe. So at those machines, those data centers are collecting data and storing it for us to use. So that is basically Google Cloud. And Google Cloud platform is a public cloud vendor. Obviously you guys have heard about AWS or Microsoft Azure. So GCP is also something like that. With GCP and other cloud vendors, customers are able to sorry, access computer resources housed in Google's data center around the world. That is, and you have to obviously, payment is used. So obviously you can use like virtual machines, you can use different services, compute engine, Kubernetes. There are multiple services in GCP that you can use just to launch and use your app. There's this is something that I wanted to clear, that Google Cloud is not Google Cloud from now, just vice versa. Like the GCP is not Google Cloud, neither Google Cloud is Google Cloud platform. For just for an example, the emails, the Google Photos, these all the datas are getting stored on the cloud, but these are not part of GCP. The Google Workspace that we are calling now, which comes, like previously it was G Suite and everything. So this Google Workspace is a part of Google Cloud, but GCP is something different. GCP is a part of Google Cloud. Again, as Google Workspace is a part of Google Cloud. Similarly, Google Cloud Platform is a part of Google Cloud. So this is something that we sometimes confuse. So just I wanted to make this clear. Like Google Cloud Platform is basically the infrastructure which is going to help the developers and the engineers hosting web-based applications and getting different services. Again, this is the gist. Google Cloud Platform services are like, the number is very high. I have just noted down three to four, like five of them, which are like on a, these are used on a very large scale, but there are many more services that are available in GCP. If you just go around in the dashboard and you go through the GCP dashboard only itself, on the sidebar you will see that the number of services that I mentioned is very small compared to the sidebar itself in the dashboard. So this is just something that I wanted to focus on, that the computing and hosting, storage and database, networking, big data, and machine learning. So I am just going back few to this slide where I have said that what about xyz.com. So where do I host this? Sorry, once again. So where do I host this, and how do I make things live? How can my friends and people all over the world can go through my project? So this is the first point. This will give you the answer to that question: computing and hosting. So Google Cloud Platform The first thing that I personally learned in GCP was the compute engine. I will be showing you the dashboard, like I will be giving a bit of an idea, but this is the first thing that I myself learned in GCP. So computing and hosting. You can host any application, web-based applications, not only web-based application, like the backend application for a huge app, like mobile applications and anything can be hosted in the compute engines, the virtual machines that are provided in the compute engine. Second is the storage and database. So again, storage and database, there are various ways to store data. There are various technologies which will help you to store data. I will come into that later. The networking, the VPCs, the VPNs, this kind of thing. Big data actually is the second point itself, but then big data is, I wanted to focus on this one because I will giving a bit of a small overview regarding big data and machine learning. That tools also I will cover. So let's start with the compute engine. Google Compute Engine is also again a service, okay, that are allowing us to use like the Google's physical hardware. What do I mean by that? So if you go inside a compute engine, you will see that you are getting a chance to create virtual machine. Even the name itself is kind of giving us a hint that it is physically a hardware that is same as your laptop. You have your operating system, there will be an operating system, there will be a RAM, there have to be a CPU. So everything will be provided, just it is in a Google's data center that is available in www. You can make your system available, but that is obviously not a feasible solution. So compute engine is basically some of the machines that has virtual machines in it, and we are going to use those machines to host websites, because they are obviously they are in the data center, so that is going to run 24 hours. And we will be hosting our the project that is running on our system can obviously be run on that system also, because there is practically no difference between them. Again, this term scalable, I will be coming to that later. These are some of the specific term like scalable. This is a very popular term in modern day, scalable, because the number of traffic and cost, both of these things are very important when you go on an organization level. So scalability is a very important aspect that we always have to consider. Another thing is like, how do we control this compute engine? Obviously there is command line interface, there is a console, and also there are RESTful APIs, applications program interface like API, that can be used to govern this compute engine. I'll be using the console today. I'll be using a console dashboard, and I'll be showing you some of the things that I wanted to show. So also you can connect your command line, that is the terminal in your system, with the Google Cloud platform, and can use the services. As I said that, I told you, like, let us remember the small fitness web app. We can create a VM and run the same project here. It will run successfully because whatever you have installed, suppose you installed Nginx as a server in your system, or an Apache 2 or an Apache. So you need to do the same thing in that virtual machine, because you will have a same terminal, and there you run the commands, the same command that you have run in your system just to install those applications. You run them there, you bring your code over there, and you execute. Everything will be same, and it will work perfectly. So once you can run the project successfully in your VM, you will know that the maximum amount of work is done. There are certain small technical things like the firewall, the connection, the networking connection, these kind of things you will need to set up. But 90% of your work is done once the project is deployed in your VM and it's running successfully. So you just need to make, like, obviously when you're deploying in a VM, you will be given an IP. Now that IP is not your xyz.com. So just somewhere you have to make some configuration to let the world or the www know that this xyz.com should be going to that IP, and hence that IP will be redirecting you to the VM, the virtual machine that you have there, where you have your project. So once this configuration done, your project is live. So let me see, just if I can show you, if I can show you the dashboard for the Google Cloud. So this is what I was talking about. So you will just have to use your email for the GCP account. You go and you can log in. There are certain formalities that you, for the first time, that you have to create your account. And once you create your account, you are inside the dashboard. So this is the dashboard that I was talking about. And These are some of the easy pins for us in the dashboard, top products and all. But let me show you this one. So this is what I was talking about. The sidebar itself has so many services that I did not write. So here only you will see that there are so many services. If I just go on and go on. But currently, as I was talking about compute engine is pinned over here. So I will be going into the VM instances for this. So this is where we can create as many instances as we require. So creating an instance is as simple as clicking on create instance. Again, as I said, that instances are nothing but these are like the same as your system. So you will give name, and these are the regions. So I did not mention anything about the region. The regions are nothing but as these are data centers, right? Data centers are located all over the world. So some of them are located in Mumbai, some of them are located in Taiwan. So where do you want your VM to be, in which data center? That is marked by the regions and the zone. This is how they ask, like, where do you want that. So if I am in India, and then I will be going for Mumbai one, this one. There is also one in Delhi. So this is why the region and zones are important. And you will see another thing, the monthly cost and everything will also change depending on the data center. Here is the machine type. So basically this, they have categorized many machines, and each machines has a configuration. So this is, see, it is saying that 2 vCPU, that is virtual CPUs, and 4 GB memory, that is 4 GB RAM they are talking about. So if I go and see, we will have different machine types and different customized, like different configurations with them allocated. The more high end customizations you make, like go for more memories, more CPUs, the higher the cost will be. So this is how we can create a virtual machine. This is also important. As I said, there are small parts like configuration that we always have to worry about, the firewall configuration. So if you are trying to host a website, obviously you need to allow these two traffics, and then once you click on create, the instance will be created with the names and the labels whatever you have given. For a quick, like, we do not have unlimited time, so I already created one just a few moments ago. So I am showing you this instance. So this is the instance that I created, Asia South once again. So this was the Mumbai one, and a micro instance I have used. So the reason I wanted to show you this, I wanted to show you this console. Like in our system, those of you are using Linux system, because whatever is installed as OS in this virtual machine, that is a Linux operating system, a Debian system. So those of you who are using Linux in your system obviously know that the terminal is there, and we can do anything throughout the terminal. That is whether installation of an application, deletion of an application, installing anything. So this is the terminal that I was talking about. And as I was experimenting, I just used a command of installing an server. So I use this nginx server command, and it was already installed. See, it is already installed. So if I go and copy this IP, we can see that the nginx command is coming. And even I don't have unlimited amount of time. I would have showed you that there is a file over here, this index file, which is actually powering the design, the HTML of this whole whatever you are seeing. So this is as simple as that. Now here you have the terminal. Here you keep bring your code. Here you install whatever is required. Like the server is required. If it's a Java, it's a Spring Boot application. You do the required things like installing of Java, the JDKs, the JREs, etc., etc., etc. You deploy your app over here. It is going to run. So it is as simple as that. So I'm exiting from this one. Let's come back. So that was a brief overview of how compute engines are. Moving on to database in GCP. So whenever I go to database, and for me, database meant only one thing, that is MySQL. Anything, whenever I heard database, it was MySQL. Even if I go over here And if I show you guys, this is the storage part and then the database part. So in GCP itself, you can see that there is Alloy DB, big table database migration is something different in Firestore, Spanner, and SQL. If I go into SQL, then you will, if you want to create an SQL instance, the first you will have the option of MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL Server. So this is the most common database that we all know of and we have been using. So I will just give a brief about that because I don't want to dive into MySQL too much. So just a moment. Yeah, so coming back to the MySQL part, so anything again on when we are starting, when you are thinking about technology and the database, when you are starting our career, we all started with MySQL. So there is no doubt about that this is, and also it's not about what we started with. MySQL is still one of the most used database and it is powerful with proper indexing and everything. It is a very powerful database and there are lots of industry level large projects that are run and governed by MySQL. There is no doubt about that. But in modern day generation, like like the modern day generation technology that I am talking about, they require huge amount of data for data, just like just to make predictions, like what is going to happen in tomorrow's match. Just for this prediction, the amount of data that needs to be collected, that needs to be manipulated, that needs to be read, and conclusion needs to be generated from data is huge. As a result, MySQL is a good, but it is a bit backdated for us. So whenever I am talking about machine learning and things like that, you will see that MySQL is not preferred nowadays. But again, we will start with MySQL. MySQL is the basic and it is the structured database, so that helps. That obviously helps. And Google Cloud Platform has a MySQL, very big and good support for MySQL. As just now I shown you, like it is present. You can create the database over here and you can connect easily with the project. So just a brief about MySQL is like, let me talk about the CRUD operation or crude operation, whatever you want to say. This is actually the create, read, update, and delete operation. So let us consider the fitness app once again. So fitness app that we discussed. Okay. So on the very first step, when the launching, we are collecting data, we are putting it in the database. This is a create operation. We we are storing those data to analyze and prepare our charts, the chart that we are going to provide to the user, the charts that they are going to follow, like the diet plan, the exercise plan. This what how do we do that? We are obviously reading some preset data that were previously set. According to the input, we compare and then we create. So there is read functionality involved over there. We are reading previous data and also we are creating new data. Then we are showcasing those data to the user, like those plans, the exercise plan, the diet plan. This is something that we are showcasing, so the user is reading them. Those data were already prepared, those were created, now it is part to read them. Maintenance of daily management, like as I said, that whether the user is actually following, giving them notification, there are check boxes that they are ticking, that yes, I have run 10 kilometer, yes. So this is where you have the manipulation, that is the update. So this is how you can simply use MySQL or this kind of database using CRUD operation. A very standard application can be built using CRUD operations. So yeah, as I said, that CRUD operations and MySQL, you have to go deep down into MySQL. There are joinings and everything, but then again, you can build big applications. But again, I am saying in 2023, standing in 2023, and when you're thinking about technology, especially technology that we're using to build new apps, not some existing app. So there are terms like scalability, powerful storage capacity, machine learning, indexing. So these are very common terms that those of you who we are going to pursue in this field, those of us who are interested in this kind of work will always be acquainted with scalability, powerful. The term scalability is has become much more popular nowadays because suppose I have an instance. Just now I had a view of virtual machine. So I had an instance and I saw like there are configuration, there are RAMs, there are CPUs. Now obviously your machine has a capacity. It can has a capacity to handle, let's say, 10,000 users in 5 minutes. Now suppose you're launching a new product or something is going to happen. As a result, your traffic is going to be very high. Again, coming back to the question that those are systems, right? Those are systems. They have RAM, they have CPU. So in your system, if you continuously open one application after another, at a certain point of time, it is going to hang. You need to restart the system. So the same thing will happen if the amount of traffic is increasing for your virtual machine. The amount of hits that it is, amount of traffic, the heat that is receiving will go out of like, it will not be able to handle, and as a result, the whole website will come down. And especially staying in India, we have experienced this kinds of thing in when some forms are going live for some government applications or some these kind of things. Even during our pandemic situation, when we had to go for the vaccination, these kind of things happen. So the online applications that they came up with was not working properly, the OTP was not going, so these kind of things happen. And here comes the question of scalability. Now today I have, now there is obviously one question, one solution to this, that I increase the virtual machine capacity to a very high extent, which will be able to handle all the traffic that is going to come, the predicted traffic. According to the predicted traffic, we increase the virtual machine. Now the question is, that is going to come for 1 and 2 days, but what about the third day? You are not going to, like, it is not possible to bring down the virtual machine, the RAMs and everything. So from the third and the fourth day, from an organizational point of view, you are paying Google Cloud and or whatever service you are using, whatever vendor you are using, whoever service you are using, you are paying a very high amount of money to them, but that amount of traffic is not coming and it is not going to come for the next 20 days. So what to do now? Here comes the point of scalability. When the requirement comes, it will go up. When the requirement is gone, it will go down. MySQL do lack in this kind of things, as I was saying. So the I am going to slowly move to the big table part. So as I said, so cost optimization. Scalability is a term, but it is related with cost optimization, which is very important for organizations. Large or small, whatever the scale is, cost optimization is always important. So scalability has to be maintained in modern day application. It has to be powerful. Obviously, if you are making something, it has to be powerful. The capacity, storing capacity has to be huge, because again I said, nowadays everything is governed by AI and machine learning, which records a huge amount of data set. So I'm not going deep into these terms, but I will speak about Bigtable. So this is also a GCP service and it's a very renowned service, and it will cover all the points, that the scalability and the powerful things that I was talking about. So let's start with this one. So cloud big table is a sparsely populated table that can be scaled to billions of rows and thousands of columns. As I said, it's powerful. It has to be powerful. The amount of data that it needs to store has to is are generally huge, and it has to has the capacity. So Bigtable do satisfy that part. It is a perfect data source for map reduce processes, since it enables great read and write throughput with low latency. So these are very difficult terms, I understand. These are very map reduction process, then throughput and low latency. So these kind of things are very hard to understand on a when we are starting. But let me give you a small example. Suppose you have a database. No, I am not talking about MySQL. I am talking about a database system that I generated. Suppose I discovered. So it has a process of fetching data, updating data, creating data, deleting data. But my system, my database does not have the capacity to search two data consecutively at the same time. What I am saying is, suppose there are two users that has come to my website. My website is connected to the database that I am talking about. Now he is also searching for a machine. Suppose it's an e-commerce website and it is searching for a red color cap. And that, so the two users, both of them are searching for red color cap. One has to wait. If there is a fraction of seconds difference between the two requests, then one has to wait Until the first request is done, then only it will execute the second request. We can close our eyes and say that this kind of system is not good in for our system, that whatever we are making, whether it's e-commerce or any kind of application, this is not something good. So this throughput, low latency, these kind of terms are associated with this kind of activity where it can actually handle lots and lots of queries and requests parallel. This is a very important term for Bigtable, that it will be able to request, like handle request and queries parallelly and in a huge number. For map reduce, I will just say that it is a processing data processing tool used to like process data parallelly, like in a distributed form. So how do I say, like um, so it can actually process data parallelly. The point that I just now said, that no one has to wait for others query or others fetching mechanism to complete. So this can run parallelly, and the mechanism is like there is a mapper phase and there is a like a reducer phase. So what basically it does is, in the mapper phase, it and they are key pair value, like first name is Shoroshi, last name is Roy, so these are key pair value. So what the mapper and the reducer does is, like throughout the database, the mapper collects the first name whatever I have given to search them, it collects all the data. In the reducer, it reduces, like if there are redundancy, like if there are repetition, this kind of thing, so it reduces and then it finally gives us the output. So this is a map reducer. This is a very huge and popular in Hadoop and big data map reducer process. So I am not again going in deep into this. So this is also available for Bigtable. The reason I am talking about this is because it is also available to Bigtable and we can use this one. And the last point that I want to talk about Bigtable is like, well, yeah, we are all starting to code. Some of us can code, some of us will start to code and will become very good developers. But Java is actually known to every one of us. So this is why I wrote this Bleak table through a variety of client libraries, including supported Java extensions. So there are Java extensions. Suppose you are building a project in Java and you want to connect with MySQL, you will see that is very easy. But don't worry, Bigtable is also easy. That is my point. Like if you are building a project, if you're building some application using Java, then connecting with the Bigtable is also easy, because there are lots and lots of uh, extensions and libraries that are present just for you to connect with your Bigtable database. So again, I was talking about why to use Bigtable for the last 2 minutes. So I have another slide for that. So machine learning. Again, you will see that, sorry, again you will see that I have mentioned this point, that machine learning, stream processing, batch map reduce operation, these kind of operations are very easy when it's about Bigtable, because it has the capacity to store huge amount of data. And the querying time, the by querying time I mean the fetching time of data, like the time amount of time that it requires to fetch data, to fetch result for your search query is quite unbelievable fast. So again, using of big, that is one of the reason we use Bigtable. Some of the use cases I have mentioned, that is the marketing information such as consumer preference and purchase history. Now let us think MySQL. MySQL is storing data, user data, my name, my last name, my address, etc., etc. This is one time. Like I am not going to use it. Like my name should not have a repetitive nature, and it will be stored once. But my purchase history, my search history, this kind of data. Nowadays, we all know that our search history is actually is getting used to show us our desired advertisement, like the advertisement and these kind of things that are coming on social medias are actually run and governed by our search history. Whatever we are searching, whatever we are typing, whatever we are seeing. So somewhere someone is storing this data, right? MySQL is not at all a good solution for them, because the amount of data is so huge that after some certain point of time, databases will become like databases, primitive databases like MySQL will not be able to handle so much data. And again, the fetch queries, the queries that we'll be using to fetch those data will be very slow, and ultimately at after certain point of time, that will lead us to, like we will have to get rid of MySQL and think of something new. So it's better we start with Bigtable itself. So the example that I'm giving is like stock prices that is changing on a like on a minute or on an hourly scale. Things can change like, and transaction histories, purchase histories, as I read. So these are huge data sets, and we all have to collect them, because data is something that we have to collect. In terms of technology, data is something that we just cannot ignore. We have to collect them. So that is why big table, big data, these kind of things are very famous nowadays. Again, another example is of internet of things, such as consumption of statistics and like your energy bills, those kind of data. So that at the end of the month, there is an app which is giving you like the energy estimation. Like your tube light has, like if your electricity bill has 100 rupees, then 20 rupees is for tube light, 10 rupees is for your refrigerator, 20 rupees is for your fridge. These kind of data are also getting, can be like, we can make an app and we can use that. So these kind of details are, to give these kind of details, we need to store data, and for that big table needs to be used. So this is something uh, I wanted to talk about. So big table, again, for to use understand, I don't have ample amount of time, so I will not be going deep into the big data and structuring. But when we are starting to make an application on, especially application connected to sports and fitness, which will obviously have the standard procedure of collecting huge information. So at that point of time, using big table, this kind of database is better than going for MySQL. That would be my suggestion. Vertex AI. So I think many of you has been waiting for this one. Okay, so until your big data and big table, were building the fitness app, and if you have followed the data flow and everything, then it can be made. And I think the overall structure is very clear. But the thing is, let us come back to our coach assistant app that I was talking previously. So let's see. So this is Vertex AI. Vertex AI, again, if I can just show you just a, if I go in GCP and then write Vertex AI, so this is something that is already available in GCP. It's not something you don't have to build from scratch. You don't have to worry about this. This is a service available on GCP. You just have to go, whatever are the requirements that you need to make your dataset, etc., etc. I will come into those later, and you use this tool. As simple as that in your app. So this is why I said that GCP is the something like which will be helping us to build this kind of application. So let's go through this one. Let us consider the football coach application, or the football coach assistant application, to be more precise. Now, those kind of datas and datas that we collected and generated, for example, the training structure that I wanted to talk about, and those kind of things, those were data driven and datas were collected. Again, data needs to be collected always, but now the coach needs data. How? It needs to like segregate all the videos, like his team or her team is playing uh, in the training phases, in the matches, and there are videos, thousands of minutes of videos are there for every training session, for every matches. Now he wants a collection. He wants a collection of videos which are goals and which were where penalties are awarded. So what to do? The first thing that comes to our mind is, okay, let us sit with a video editing app, go through videos one after the another, and we will cut the clip and we will store it in the desired location. But that is possible when it's a very small amount. The amount increases, you increase the manpower, but that is not how technology works in 2023. That is absolutely not what we want. So what we want is an application or an intelligence or an artificial intelligence, to be more precise, to segregate the video. So we give them the video, and they will automatically give them the category, like this is a goal category. So this video gets stored on the under the goal, suppose, tag or the category. This is a penalty awarded video, so that gets stored in the penalty category. So this should be done by the application itself. The only thing that will be happening is like the upload of the video or the recording of the video through the app, or you have recorded the video of the training session or the match in your phone, and then you have just collected the video and uploaded into the app. That is enough. After some processing time, we do have to give some processing time. The videos will get segregated in different categories with the machine learning or the Vertex AI, the AI that we are going to use. How I will go through the whole process. Okay. Again, what I have mentioned is that the work of watching each video and manually marking the segments is very tedious and time consuming. So we are not going to do this. So there are three categories: goal, foul, penalty. Obviously, it is very difficult for those of us who does not understand football. But goal is something very similar when the ball is going inside the net. So that is the goal. Foul is something that you are not allowed to do on a football field and you are doing so. And penalty is something kind of a punishment that you receive if you are committing a foul inside certain area. So these videos needs to be segregated. So whenever we are uploading a video, this is the like the three categories where it will automatically segregate. So this is something that I want to have in my application. So for that I am taking help of Vertex AI, which is a GCP equipment or a GCP service. So obviously AI do need a huge amount of data set first of all to become intelligent. A system or a person becomes intelligent by gathering data. Without data there is no intelligence. So first of all you need to provide data, then you need to train. You have to train them that this is your data. Now you start understanding, start learning. You have to train, and then you have to evaluate, and ultimately you are ready to use that. Let us call that model. Whoever is going to do, we can call it robot, we can call it artificial intelligence, we can call it a artificial brain. Let us, for the timing, let us call them models. Okay. This, we can create different models with different data sets and training. So we will be creating a model which will be gathering videos. We will be providing data sets, we will be giving them we will be providing proper training to this model so that they are 100% like effective, and then we will use them to in our apps. We'll be using them in our app to achieve our desired result. So this is what we will be doing. So in the preparation stage, obviously you have to have your dataset ready. So upload as much as video possible of goal and penalty awarded. Okay. Obviously also foul. I have shortened this one. So I am talking about goal and penalty currently. So upload as much as video from every different angle with different color composition, with different pixel variation of the video. So the more video, the more data set, the more video you upload, the more perfect your result will be. Okay. And then mark their level. In the level you can mark them as this is a goal, this is a penalty, this is a goal, this is a penalty. So this is how you are training your, also this marking process is actually training. You are uploading, you are giving the data set and then marking. So this is a video that I uploaded as a data set is actually a goal. So know that you learn that. The next step is about the evolution and test. So obviously machine learning will now is trained, and now you give a random video and it will give a prediction whether it's a goal. It will give a decision, not a prediction. It will give you a decision that this is a goal or this is not a goal. But with every decision there is a confidence code involved. Okay, this code will obviously improve with time and more data, but from the very starting it will have a score, a numeric assessment of the model certainty. Okay, this class is obviously the foul class or the goal class. This is the class that we are talking about. The score threshold will be set up by the user. Okay, I am the user. I am setting up the AI for which I will be using in my app. So I say 0.8 is the minimum score which I will be using for prediction. Otherwise, I am not going to use. So that we can do. That is what we call a threshold. Threshold of your of the numeric value that is coming up. That is the confidence score. So this is again a part of preparation. This is obviously evaluation and testing also. So the more better number keeps coming, the more trend and your model is more ready. We can understand. And then the prediction, what kind of prediction we can expect and what will be the types of prediction. One is true positive. So obviously this is very easy to understand. This is only about goals, and for every different class this four outcome is possible. So if I'm talking about goal only, so there was a goal, the machine actually predicted correctly. There was no goal, the machine corrected correctly. So these are the two scenarios. But The two reverse thing can also happen. There was no goal, but the machine correct predicted there was a goal, and there was no goal, and the machine thought that there was a goal. So these kind of things can also happen. So these are the four prediction outcomes. The more, again I say, the more with time, the true positive and the false negative part will keep on increasing, and it will be more intelligent with time and with more data set. Where is this available? This is available again in the GCP, and you can very easily use this one. If you just go through the dashboard, you will be creating all this. You will be uploading the data, you will be writing your own rules, there will be thresholds, and ultimately you will be able to use that tool. This is just an overview that I wanted to give. Like, this is the dashboard for the Vertex AI. If you can see on the left hand side, there are data sets. Okay, there are pipeline, there are training, there are experiments, all this. Then I said that we can call them models. So these are the model registration point, and ultimately you will be using them for prediction. You can be using, even you can create APIs, I think, from this, and you will be able to use this tool that you have created yourself in your own application. So before we wrap this session, now obviously after this session you have to ask yourself what I have learned and what I can build now. Okay, so obviously throughout the as I said, that the fitness app, this the assistant app, we can build them, we can start, at least we can start planning about it, like how do we want the app to be. We can start that. We have seen that we can host it in Google Cloud. That is very easy. Go to Compute Engine, we have a virtual machine, we host it. Okay, using the database. Okay, you don't want big data, no problem, you start with MySQL, use the GCP MySQL, use them, get your hands dirty, start with MySQL, then slowly move to that also we can do. Even if you are confident enough, we can even start using prediction and AI in our application, the way I discussed the Vertex AI. Yeah, it will be not so quick, it will not be so easy, but we can at least start planning, we can start thinking in this line. So again, that is the questions, like, can we make the apps that we discussed in the previous slides with the, at least can we make the architecture, can we make the planning? Yes, we can. GCP absolutely has the exact tools and services that are required to go through the building of this before mentioned application that we have discussed. Not only the application, we have discussed the application that I mentioned also. Those kind of things can also be made. So in the long run, fitness and sports, this is a vast field. And even I can assure you guys, like, for the time being, if you can think sports and fitness, everything is already done. What new can we make? That is not true. There are many uncharted territories still. That is, there are many things that no one has even thought. So this is a very good topic, and there are many, as I said, that uncharted territory that no one has now thought about, and we can start thinking about them. We can actually obviously think in a way that no one has thought before. New business models are coming up on a daily basis. So if everything was done, then new business model suddenly, there was Dream 11, and Dream 11 is popular. Tomorrow you will see that there is something new. So there are new business models coming up on a daily basis, and thus the requirement of technology. You can come up with ideas, but those ideas can be converted to practical application by the use of technology, and this is where we have to come up. Using advanced tools and services are a must if we want to build something good and useful. Yeah, again, then it is 2023. We are already using, we ourselves are using apps in our phone which is governed by AI and machine learning and whatnot. So we love using those kind of app, and then we say that we will be using and we'll be building app which do not have that. So that is not something that should be, that should not come to us, like that should not be coming to our brain. So using advanced tools, and as I said that those tools are very easily available in the Google Cloud platform. Even AI's machine learning tools, I discussed about Vertex AI, that is one of the tools. There are many multiple machine learning tools, okay, in GCP. So let's begin. Let us make something, like something new, something interesting. So thank you very much. This is where I conclude the session.
So, yeah, thank you so much, Sarsij, for this amazing and wonderful session. So, we have few questions from the audience. So, Siddiq is asking, can you give some example regarding sport technology applications?
Okay, so sport technology in application. So yeah, of course, I thought of adding that also in the PPT, but it was going too large. So something that I wanted to discuss was Google Fit. Have you heard? If you have heard about Google Fit, this kind of technology and this kind of applications are well integrated with wearable devices like these smartwatches that I said that have the connectivity. So these technologies can be used like the technology inside the smartwatches that will fetch you the data, and that you will be getting in your application, and then you will be storing in your cloud in order to make conclusion and this kind of thing. So Google Fit is one such kind of thing. And then if you're thinking about device on a device basis, like I have a treadmill. Obviously I have a treadmill, and I'm running, and then there are data like the calorie, the heart rate, the speed with which I am running. This kind of data needs to be connected. So this goes into the IoT, like the internet of things like from there you need to use those technologies, hardware dependent technologies, which will have the connectivity and ultimately will give you the data. Once we have the data, so whenever you are talking about technology, obviously there is hardware implemented and there are hardwares involved, but what I am trying to focus today is after what happens with the data. So the data collection, and then as I said, there are thousands of database structure, and then there you store the data, you use the data, you manipulate the
Okay. So yeah, that's all from the questions, Sarsish. So I think it's time to wrap up this session.
data. Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Sarsish, for being with us here today. Thank you so much for this amazing
Thank you.
session.
Thank you
Yeah.
everyone. Thank you everyone who have joined.
Okay. Bye bye. Good evening.
Bye.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining this session today. For more updates, stay tuned with Geeks for Geeks. Bye, guys. Good evening.